I'm Beverly Johnson, and this is how I made it. I didn't really grow up looking at fashion magazines. I was a swimmer and a student, and I wanted to be a lawyer. So the whole modeling thing came as a surprise, like most things in life. My last summer in Buffalo, New York, my mother made me work in a department store because I didn't have any clothes for college. All I had was like sweatsuits and things like that. And there was this woman that headed this department, and she kept saying, if you ever give up this idea about becoming a lawyer, call this woman. And she gave me this piece of paper with this woman's name on it. I really thought the woman was crazy. I mean, I was going to be a lawyer. I mean, I had no idea, but for some odd reason, I kept that piece of paper. And that was the woman who my mother and I went to see in New York, who got me the appointment with Glamour magazine. And that's how it all began. One of the highlights of my life, and even to this day, besides the birth of my daughter, Anansa, and the birth of my granddaughter, Ava, is the Vogue cover. That's August 1974. I was the first African American to grace the cover of Vogue magazine. And that morning, I remember waking up, I remember getting that phone call and being so, because you never know, in those days you never knew that you were going to be in the cover until it was actually on the stands, on the newsstands. And I remember, putting on my jeans and running down and seeing it on the newsstand. I mean, it was like, it was, because it was a pretty picture, because, they didn't really know how to photograph us back then. At that particular moment, I was on the cover of Glamour, 17L magazine. I was on all the magazine covers, and I was on a radio interview, and they said, how does it feel to be the biggest black model in the world? I said, I'm not the biggest black model, I'm the biggest model, period. And I got in this taxi cab driver, white guy, taxi cab driver. He said, oh, you're the one with the big mouth, you're like Muhammad Ali. And he was actually insulted that I corrected someone about a mistake that they were making. I really did not realize that there hadn't been any other women of color, because, we were talking about the 70s, and I thought like, hey, things are, we had Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, I mean, everything was supposed to be okay. And that began my self-discovery journey. That began my journey into who I was, where I came from, my roots, Africa, Native American. I wanted to know about my family. And I think that that is what sustained me in the business. That responsibility of being the first, I felt, because it could have been anybody. I just happened to be there at the right time. I just felt a sense of responsibility because at that moment in the world, America had finally accepted this color skin as beautiful, and in the fashion world. I never was the type to actually quit one thing. I just let it transition. I let things happen naturally. Then I didn't know whether I wanted to be a host or a television producer or an author. I've written books. I even tried to sing. That was horrendous. I mean, I just didn't know what I wanted to do, so I just decided to try to do a little bit of everything until I really have worked my way to where I am now, and that's in business. And I'm in the beauty business because I love beauty. So I finally found, my home. It's the business that I love, and it's the business that just interests me, hair, beautiful clothes, anything that has to do with beauty I love. Beauty is love, beauty is Beauty is God. I just love to be able to surround myself with beautiful things, and even things that some people wouldn't think that are beautiful, but I see the beauty in everyone and everything.